cage for hours. Please. Kiss me.
Greetings and salutations. This is Cage's Kiss, the ultimate Cage cast, where we discuss each of the National Treasure's cinematic masterpieces and his life. We also try to glean whatever kernels of wisdom we can from his character that week. I am Donnie. Linda, introduce yourself.
Me?
Yes.
My name's Linda, but this week you can call me I'm gonna go with ghost pepper jack cheese.
No,
Yeah.
I'm Adrian, and you're fucking Cheeto dust, because that's what this goddamn movie looked like. You're goddamn
Cheeto
flaming
dust
hot
farting
Cheeto
in the
dust.
Ashes to ashes.
My hands are turning color. Could this mean I'm developing superpowers? Or did I have too many flaming hot Cheetos?
That sets my butthole on fire.
Yes.
Speaking of,
yeah, you better tell him.
this story goes, every generation has some damn soul cursed to act on this earth, taking whatever roles the devil deals. Many years ago, in 2007, an actor was sent to a studio in Hollywood, California, to collect a paycheck worth enough to feed him for 4 months. But this film was so powerfully horrible, he knew he shouldn't be in it. So he did what any other respected actor would do. He took the paycheck. Thing about legends is, like this, sometimes Sam Elliott's gotta eat. Our movie today is Ghost Rider. Sam Elliott.
One thing you gotta remember, pain don't hurt.
God damn it.
The double douche.
That's right. I love Roadhouse. I hate Ghost Rider.
It's so sad to me because he's so much better than this.
He
know,
is,
the funny
but he's
thing
gotta
is-
eat.
It's still neck and neck. Which one's
Man's
worse,
gotta eat.
Ghost Rider or Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance? It's like the question for the ages. They both hurt your dick so bad. Like a corkscrew, like dipped
And
in
they
salt
both
and lime
tried.
juice, just stuck in there.
And they both try to apologize for it.
It's like they're each just apologizing for the other one, and they're both at fault.
Yeah.
And they both think that they are unspeakably cool, which results in them being just painfully lame.
I know. And again, this is Nick Cage passion project.
Yeah. Notice we're running into a pattern with those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did a lot of improv, kind of rewrote parts of the script, So
Yeah,
let's give
he's
you
been
the-
a huge comic book fan for most of his life.
And if he'd done the Superman thing, it probably would have been better than this. Even in the worst version of it.
Yeah.
Well, apparently when he was about 9 or 10, he came up with an alter ego,
Nicholas
the
Rage.
Spirit.
Oh, he was the spirit.
He was the Spirit. And he'd put on a white t-shirt with a black S on it. He'd put on a white fedora hat and a white cape, and he'd strap a boomerang to his chest and go out to the alley behind his house looking for evildoers.
Does he still do this today?
I mean, probably.
Yeah, some
Would you
movers
doubt
come
it?
by, because his neighbor is like getting some stuff to put into storage, and he chucks a boomerang at him. He's like, "Spirit!"
He probably just spray painted the Big Daddy outfit from Kick-Ass white. And just put
there
that
you
on
go.
instead.
or went to auction and got some of Michael Jackson's.
There you go.
Well, when he was talking about it, like it sounds like he was just like born for the role, because he says, "quote Then I thought I was the Daredevil Evil Knievel. I saw George Hamilton play him in the movie, and I remember thinking how cool he was, the way he could rev his bike, adjust the chain, wipe the grease off his boot, all in slow motion, then do the ultimate jump over 20 vans. That changed my life.
Wow.
From then on, I started jumping over beer kegs with my bicycle, but that wasn't enough. So one day I made a big hoop of cardboard and doused it in kerosene
Jesus.
and announced to the whole neighborhood that I was going to jump through the hoop of fire. Word quickly got around and all these kids started paying money to watch me do it. But then when the big day came, my dad found out about it and shut the whole thing down.
Fucking dad, fucking
Shut
loser.
it down.
I'm gonna jump through a hoop of fire, Dad. You can't tell me what to do.
I'm gonna be
Parents just
important.
don't
I'm gonna
understand.
be a big shiny star.
You are the greatest.
So speaking of big and shiny, so this movie cost the $110 million.
Mhm.
And it made the $228 million, so this folly was well rewarded.
Mm-hmm.
It came out on Valentine's Day in 2007, and it opened at number 1. And it beat out Bridge to Terabithia and a much better movie with Chris Cooper, Breach, with Ryan Philippe.
Chris Cooper.
And also in theaters at the time were turds like Hannibal Rising and Norbit.
Yeah.
Critics, however, were not so wild about Ghost Rider, and I just can't tell why. I just can't imagine.
Oh, you mean the whole late 90s thing of every spoopy thing that appears on screen has to shout and scream in your face for a split second and go back to normal?
Do you like how they have the late 90s movie trailer Lightning where everything goes into high contrast black and white just like it doesn't when lightning goes off?
Oh, it was kind of subtle, like the whole effect of showing the creaking devil that was our wonderful devil in this movie.
Yeah, and everybody who's like a demon or something, at one point their face flashes and they got a spooky like skeleton tooth mouth or some shit.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck that was supposed to be, that never got old.
Not at all.
Speaking of not old, this was directed by Mark Steven Johnson. The thing about Mark Steven Johnson, he was born in Hastings, Minnesota, and he gags on rancid cocks for beer money.
Well, as you do.
He wrote Big Bully and Elektra and this movie, so you know he's a great writer.
Jesus.
And he directed the Ben Affleck Daredevil.
Mhm.
And he did that movie Killing Season, in which John Travolta has the fakest hairpiece and beard this side of Steven Seagal. Fuck him.
Well, speaking of hair pieces, I mean, Nick Cage, come on.
Yeah. That was a clever device there. How there's a kid who's Johnny Blaze in the lengthy prologue segment, and then later on Cage is Johnny Blaze, and you could tell they're both Johnny Blaze because even though their facial features are completely different, they have the same terrible hair.
But they did give the kid a prosthetic nose to look more like
to try to
him.
look more like Cage, and
Hey,
it really...
You need to be a little more fair on this. Name one other actor at that age that could point at the camera and hold that like Nick Cage would.
You're pissing me off.
And this movie has some stuff for the whole audience. By the way, it's not just high class comic book action. There's a love interest too. Yeah, there's girlfriend woman, Roxanne Simpson, who was in the flashback, and then later she's a reporter lady. And she's played by Eva Marie Saint. She's played by Eva Longoria Parker. Oh no! Oh wait, it was Eva Mendes. She was Eva Mendes. Okay, see, I forgot her name because she hasn't been in a movie since 2014. But that's okay. She was in some really important and enduring stuff, like Children of the Corn 5, Urban Legends 2. And The Spirit, which was shit. The Spirit, the movie, not the Nicolas Cage drawing an S on his chest.
When he was a kid. I think Eva Mendes has been in something since then.
I found nothing from her, not even television. No, she is nothing in 6 years.
Dang. What happened to her? Did she die?
Maybe,
Hopefully.
on set, everybody's having some cocaine and she thought she would too, and her nose rotted off. I don't know.
Huh. Well, I like her. She's all right.
I don't hate her or anything. It's just that's what happened.
Yeah.
Her nose fell off.
She
from
died
cocaine.
in 2014.
Yeah, no. What happened was she was doing some lines on a mirror in Billy Drago's office in Miami, and Richard Lynch burst in and knocked her head into the mirror, and she got the metal straw thing stuck up her nose. And then Richard Lynch put the gun down Billy Drago's pants and blew his dick off and shot him out the window, and she died.
Why?
That's what happened.
I mean, she was in a classic movie. She was in Children of the Corn 5.
Yeah,
Fields
Children
of
of the
Terror.
Corn 5. Urban Legends 2 is actually better than Urban Legends 1, I mean, to be fair.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, low bar.
It's
I
also
know.
better than this.
And every movie I just mentioned is also better than Ghost Rider. Now in this movie, Ghost to the Navigator. Cage plays Blaze Bailey, a motorcycle guy who makes a deal with the devil to save his daddy from cancer. And the devil in this movie is Peter Fonda. And if for you folks at home, Peter Fonda is Peter Fonda.
Yes.
He isn't really
You
as
may
cool
know him from
as
being
his
Peter
sister Jane Fonda, because Jane Fonda is basically God.
Yes,
or,
that's true.
or his dad Henry
Love.
Fonda. But he's okay. He was in Roger Corman's amazing movie The Trip. With Dennis Hopper and Bruce Dern. He was also in The Wild Angels, also by Corman, which is fucking great. No,
Nice.
Also Bruce Dern in that. Great biker epic. And he was in Future World, the sequel to the original Westworld. And that's what Peter Fonda was in, and we don't really need to mention that he was in anything else.
That's
Pretty
it.
much, yeah.
And Sam Elliott was in Roadhouse!
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse!
Roadhouse. And in our dreams. For a while I wanted to ask him how much it would cost to have him walk me down the aisle and give me away at my wedding, but then my dad kind of got like all offended by it. I was like, no offense, Dad, I love you. It's just
It's
Sam Elliott.
He's everyone's dad.
Yeah.
It was even more awkward when he was already eating dinner with us. Like, that's all right, Mr. Roberts. I understand. I'll go on. Did he just take the whole turkey with him?
Yep, he did.
He just sort of waits in an empty booth at Golden Corral for families to come in, and then he just sort of sneaks up on them.
Yeah.
There goes a real man.
It's pretty much Cheech and Chong when they're sitting at the Chinese food restaurant. The talent agent keeps coming over, stealing their food. That's all Sam Elliott does now.
Hamburger.
Speaking of hamburgers, that Donald Logue guy was in this.
I love Donald Logue.
He was in Little Women and Reindeer Games and Max Payne. Donald Logue.
Don't hold that against him.
Yeah, he was in Max Payne, to be sure.
He's a husband.
He was also in Sons of Anarchy. Come on.
And speaking of cocaine, Wes Bentley is in this. It's the son of the devil. Wes Bentley looking like he escaped from Twilight.
Yeah, right.
He looks, no. I watched this over again with Nathan, and he's like, "Man, all these elemental guys, they look like a bunch of twihards." I'm like, "They do it."
Yeah. Did
I
any of
like
you watch
the
Go ahead.
I like the one demon who's just like his wet friend.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm wet guy.
Wet guy, mustache guy, other guy. Yeah. All kinds of. It's like, you can't catch the wind. I'll catch you with this fan fire thing. Why did this work?
Oh, fuck.
I'll catch
no.
you.
But no, Wes Bentley was officially a huge cocaine fiend. We are not making this one up.
Yes.
At the time
Oh, God,
of
no.
this filming, and
No, he admitted it.
and he admitted that the roles he took at that time were the ones that would get him enough money to buy mountains of cocaine.
Buy
That's
more
what I was
coke.
getting at when he is asked to do this film. He's like trying to mask it, saying, "I only take the best roles. I know they're going to further my career. My fans will love me for them." Like, bullshit.
No, Mark Steven Johnson is like, well, they told me Wes Bentley would turn me down. They said he turned a lot of people down. It's like, bullshit, Mark Steven Johnson.
You do not pay me in cash. I work for cocaine.
Here's the fun thing about Wes Bentley is that cocaine is vitamins to Wes Bentley.
Yeah.
And he's super proud of his little perfumed balls, which are never smelly or stinky.
No, him and Nick Cage used to play tennis together, but funny enough, they didn't have any tennis rackets, just a whole lot of tennis balls.
Yeah, no, they got this patio and somebody drew the lines on it in cocaine, and they just basically they'd be in shorts on their faces, just throwing their way around, trying to meet in the middle. And when they did, it was like Lady and the Tramp.
Just
Who's
tossing
winning?
tennis balls full of cocaine at each other.
Who's winning? Nobody.
Yeah,
Whoever
that
wins,
scene
we
in
all
RoboCop
lose.
with Kurtwood Smith would come up, and they'd just start salivating and licking the TV.
You bitches leave. Oh, God.
So apparently they put gold flakes in Peter Fonda's hair and makeup.
While they were
Yeah.
wasting money, why not?
We filtered the gold from the Goldschlagers just to use it in his hair and makeup.
This was originally budgeted at $65 million, and it cost $110 million.
We went to Wes Bentley's trailer and got his Goldschlager.
I mean, this movie's pretty much like The Island of Dr. Moreau. It's just the cost kept going up.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and like that, it's also shot in Australia for no reason. And they're like, oh, wait, we need reshoots.
Yes.
So they went to Canada. So no Ghost Rider movie has ever been shot in the United States.
Uh-huh.
And apparently Donald Logue was actually auditioned for Foggy Nelson in Daredevil, but obviously he didn't get it,
Fucking
so he
Daredevil.
stayed in their minds, and they wrote Mac with him in mind.
What
Yeah.
character was that? Was that the one that what's his name wound up playing?
I blocked the movie
Joe-
out, but Foggy Nelson is his friend.
Joe Pantoliano, the reporter.
Probably.
I don't know. I saw
think you're right.
Daredevil in the theater.
Same.
Uh,
wanted to see
what-
it. and
what
she
the
dragged me to Ghost
fuck?
Rider and Elektra.
Oh, you're fucking X-Man. Oh,
She-
Elektra. Jesus Christ. It's like getting a staple up your dick.
No, that still belongs to Bullseye. It's like, I never miss. He
Jesus.
made
Colin Farrell. Yeah, you see, in Bruges, Colin Farrell actually used emotional memory. You know, that was method acting, but it wasn't him reflecting on actually killing a child in real life. It was him reflecting on having been in Daredevil. I can't believe I did that movie. Just kill me now.
You know, I kind of
Oh,
wonder if Daredevil was the song of the South for Marvel Studios. They'll just never admit it existed.
Donnie, what are you talking about right now? Daredevil, Elektra, Ghost Rider? Why these are the greatest offerings of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, it is the birth of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, and much like Birth of a Nation, it will never be forgotten.
That's
God damn
right.
it. Apparently, it was Jon Favreau who played Foggy.
Ooh, oh
In the
God.
movie.
I
Skinny
haven't
Jon
seen it in
Favreau?
so long, and I am so fine with not having seen it in so long. Because you know what, I
One and the same.
like a lot of people, I have some begrudging respect for Ben Affleck now, and so I'm just going to pretend that Daredevil didn't happen, even though we've just discussed it at length.
Yeah.
Because he paid you to forget.
Well, you know, Gone
apparently-
Baby Gone's a good movie, you know.
Oh yeah, no, okay. Apparently, Johnny's bike is a replica of the one Peter Fonda's character rode in Easy Rider,
Yeah.
and
Everybody
Nick
in
is
fucking
friends
Easy
with
Rider.
Peter Fonda, and so he's the one who suggested him.
Yeah.
I don't know if they like met through Bridget Fonda or I have no.
I don't know. I just know that they actually did cut from the scene when the devil meets him first. The second time he does, when he has the bike, he actually did say "nice bike," and it's just one of those things that they thought was a little on the nose.
Nice
at
bike
the
to
time.
die in.
Yeah, I was shot off that bike, you know. Spoilers.
Yeah. I like the original ending to Ghost Rider where he's riding off in the sunset and the guy in the pickup truck rolls alongside and says, "Why don't you get a haircut?"
Smell my ass.
Well, apparently Eva Mendes signed on before there was even a script.
Jesus.
She just had nothing better to
And-
do. I feel so bad for her.
I know, right? They're like, it's gonna be a great movie.
I imagine they
It's gonna
probably
be awesome.
shot her entire part before there was a script because she's just blatantly on green screen a number of times.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
part when she's adult Eva Mendes for the first time, and they meet in like that arena, and it's like, okay, so
Yes.
Melbourne, Canada, you guys aren't anywhere. You're in front of a goddamn green screen. Like, oh look, there's an arena behind me. Really? It's like, yeah, there's this cityscape behind me that I think got lost on its way to a TV set. Oh, yeah,
And now we're on the moon.
Now we're on a rooftop.
No, I was watching this
hi,
with my
Mark.
friend Nathan. My friend Nathan, we're like, not only is this awful green screen, this is like TV quality green screen. This isn't even the kind of shit they'd use in movies.
Yeah. And I have to say, a lot of these fight scenes and the green screen really reminded me of Mortal Kombat, and it's not that far off.
And then Chris R shows up.
It's just amazing how much movie technology advanced, in those 12 years. I mean, wow. I mean, it's uncanny. Like, you can't even tell what's real. Like when those helicopters land, it's like, wow, how did they afford 5 helicopters for this movie?
It's just like Jurassic Park. It's just seamless.
It's like it's coming out of the screen at you.
Yeah, like 3D porn.
I'm sure that nobody needs me to tell them that the jelly beans and the martini glass and the Carpenter's music were both Nick Cage's
You're
ideas.
stepping on Karen.
Don't you let you turn off the Carpenters, but I'll let you turn off the monkey.
You guys want some jelly beans? Some chiclets? Some ring dings?
Notice it looks like fire. That's not anything to
some
worry about.
strawberry
Later.
gum?
Put the monkey movie back on.
Okay. Here's a fucking
on.
thing. Here's a fucking thing. Okay, like the stuff that Cage watches on TV in this movie is stuff that only people in movies will watch on TV because it's public domain shit.
Yeah, it's basically YouTube before YouTube.
It's like
not the chimp.
No,
video.
I know they had to
Apparently
pay for the
had
chimp
to-
video because that was something somebody made and they couldn't just steal it. But I'm just saying, like, you know what I'm saying, like, because he's either watching that or he's watching a clip from a black and white 50s movie, which was Night of the Demon, based on Casting of the Runes, and then he's watching like an old timey Cuphead style cartoon, like you'd kind of get on a DVD of like 500 classic cartoons.
Oh, I remember Donnie and I saw that cartoon short.
Yeah.
It used to scare me when I was a little kid.
Spooky, scary skeleton.
Spoopy.
Do you remember Merlin's Shop of Mystical Wonders?
I do.
The part where the mom sits down and starts watching cartoons and eating popcorn, and she's just like laughing uproariously. It's like, I am the old pin and cushion man, terror of Balloony Land. Folks all hate me. How they hate
story
me.
with the man that killed the cat and started getting more and more evil as it went on casting.
Madeline, turns out I'm really old. Ew, I don't want to have a baby with you anymore. I'm going to turn into a baby. Still better
so
than
they
Ghost
had to cover up Nick Cage's Ghost Rider tattoo for this.
I remember that.
But I tattooed flames on my face.
I tattooed myself on my face.
When they were putting on the body makeup for that tattoo, was that also when they greased them up for the mirror shot? It was like, oh,
yes,
my
I love
abs are
that.
so abby. Oh, I'm like Rambo First Blood Part 2 in here. I'm like so ripped. Oh my God. Was I on fire? I can't tell because I'm hot. I'm going to have to be alone with me right now.
I mean, he was working out like 3 hours a fucking day. Let him enjoy it.
I'm not. No, he was ripped. Yeah. No, he was ripped. It was like Boy in Blue time all over again.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, with all that work, he should be able to show it off and be like,
Sure.
Look at how I ruined my body.
If this had just turned into a David Duchovny movie and had just been him shirtless the whole time instead of all those stupid special effects, this would have been a better movie. He's just hanging out by the pool. It's like, hey, Donald Logue, could you go inside and look for Steve? Oh, sure. Steve. And then all of a sudden he's tied up on the bed in his tighty whities.
I mean,
and greased up.
Yeah.
Jesus. I mean, this is sounding like a David Dakota film.
Yeah, I love how we all know what I'm talking about. 1313 Ghost Rider.
Well, just go to our Patreon page and help us out with the remake.
You know, it's a sequel to The Killer Eye.
Hell with that. Let's go to Marvel and tell them to hire Lloyd Kaufman to direct a remake
Yes.
of Ghost Rider.
You know what? I think that would breathe life back into the universe. Definitely.
It could.
Yeah.
I mean, Lloyd has been in every James Gunn Marvel movie, so why not? He's
Damn right.
established.
Let's start a petition.
Oh, God bless James Gunn.
Yeah.
God bless him.
I know all there is to know about the crying game.
About the James Gunn game?
Sure. Yeah.
So Cage almost wasn't in this. Apparently, he actually pulled out at one point to star in the Hellblazer movie, which if you are one of our Patreon patrons, you'll know because we covered it.
Yeah, we did a whole bonus
that,
episode on Constantine.
Yeah, and not Keanu. It was on the Stormbringer. Peter Stormare.
It's got
Stormare.
nothing you need.
But you'll know that ultimately they did not want him in the movie. They didn't want him being John Constantine. So here he was back.
Why?
In Ghost
I
Rider.
don't get it. He was still bankable.
Yeah.
Although
but
Johnny
you know
Depp
it
was
would be a different
was
movie.
almost Johnny Blaze. And
Mhm.
if that had happened, maybe the movie would have had some room to be a movie. I don't know. I mean, Johnny Depp is also in a lot of shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
No disrespect.
Dark
but-
Shadows.
Well, that's because he still hangs out with Tim Burton, and he shouldn't, because Tim Burton hasn't made a
Yes.
good movie since Ed Wood.
Yes.
And he keeps dragging Danny Elfman with him.
Oh,
Like, damn it, Danny,
Speaking
you're
of
gonna
build his
composers getting
soul.
dragged down, fucking Christopher Young was stuck scoring this pile of shit. If you could hear his music between the rock songs that they got on the soundtrack. Christopher Young, who composed the fucking theme to Hellraiser.
Exactly.
Oh, and this is also the ugliest movie ever made. And it was shot by Russell Boyd, an Australian cinematographer who worked for Brian Trenchard Smith on The Man from Hong Kong, and he did Mrs. Soulful and Stealth.
Jesus.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
And the Crocodile Dundee movies.
The best movies in the world.
Does anyone remember the remake?
Of Crocodile Dundee?
Yeah.
Did they do a full-on remake?
They did well, it's kind of like a soft reboot, but they had Danny McBride playing like the grown-up son of Crocodile Dundee.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
Sort of a spin-off. Yeah. Okay, so it's like that
Kind of, but they
2000
do
version
have,
of Shaft.
Yeah, they do have the original cast from the first, so
I do love Danny McBride. So apparently Nick Cage based his performance on his pet cobra Sheba, who fucking hated him.
I loathe you.
She would turn her back toward him
I
and kind of
remember
sway
this
left and right.
From the interview, yeah. Try to hypnotize me and then try to bite my face.
And be like, "I'll fucking bite you."
I saw that interview with Cage, and I think maybe he should have based his performance on his cat instead.
Yeah.
Yes, right. While I was tripping on shrooms.
My pet snake bit me, crawled off, and died.
Yeah, this is totally fucking out of left field. But I earlier when I thought we were going to record sooner, I took a nap and I had a dream about Perry Mason the animated series.
Oh.
And in this version, which was done Ralph Bakshi style, in which it was all rotoscoped, so it was really weird looking.
Excellent.
And they were about to go into court, and you knew they were about to screw up because for some reason they had all these phobias that were acting up. And Perry Mason, started having this feeling that his food was drugged. And he had this quirk where he'd start listing random recipes because he was a little bit more she, you know. And he was talking about this recipe involving mushrooms, and Della Street's like, fuck mushrooms, flavorless piles of crap.
What the fuck?
Can I share a really weird dream I've been meaning to tweet about?
Yeah, no,
I had
you do it
today?
too, because
Dwayne
Ghost
Johnson.
Rider has Dwayne Johnson, yeah.
Yeah.
Whose father just passed, so be
Yeah.
respectful, asshole.
Well, this is why I'm like, why was he in my dream? And it was like the most like The Rock thing ever, and I don't know why, because I barely think of him anymore. But I was in a mall and
Only when you're jerking it, right?
Yes.
Like every other American.
Yes,
True
exactly.
You were in a
But I
mall.
was like, I jumped onto someone's hover round in a mall and I start going off on it. And I hear him calling out to me, calling me, "Hey, potato salad." And he's like, "That's my hover round." I was like, "What? Oh my God." So I bring it back and he's getting a manicure from like this Slavic lady. And she like sees my beard. She's like, "Oh, are you Slavic too?" I was like, what?" I'm like so starstruck meeting The Rock that I'm like, I'm Slavic. How'd you know that?
Sure.
And he's like,
Russian
I
squirrel."
don't believe you. I was like, "Well, why do you say that?" And he like pulls out a picture that he had in a purse he carried with him of a baby with someone's beard underneath it, making it look like the baby had a beard. He's like, "Now you see this? This looks like my baby has a beard." I'm like, "Oh, your baby's so cute." He's like, "I know. This, I believe this. I don't believe you." I was like, "Oh my God, I've been caught lying by The Rock. What the fuck do I do?" And they just like
is
leave my
happening?
hover round behind. Okay, I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right," and I backed off and I woke
It was
up.
round for a reason, Mr. Rock. You're saying.
How did we get here?
Wait,
I don't know, but it's
Shit,
more
you guys.
entertaining than the fucking movie was.
Did I miss something though? You said he's no longer with us. Did Dwayne Johnson?
No, his
die?
father. His father.
Sweet Ebony Diamond died. That was his
father-
ring name.
I
I
his
know.
father, yeah, he passed away yesterday, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah.
sad day.
It was.
GG.
I'm just saying he had the
So,
coolest ring
anyway.
name ever.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So on to happier things. I have to ask a question. So what the fuck was the point of Sam Elliott's last ride?
Yeah, there was
That's what I'm
for no
saying.
fucking reason. They made it. Some asshole made a screensaver of a flaming horse rider riding along in a
Mhm.
flaming motorcycle, and they're like, "Look, this looks completely fake. It has nothing to do with anything. Great, we'll build the whole movie around it." What?
See, that's my
Yeah,
biggest
like-
complaint with this whole
sorry.
fucking movie. No, go ahead, please. I want to rant.
Well, the writer and director in the commentary said that
Mark Steven
he
Johnson.
was he was redeemed by God for his work. And I'm like thinking, what the fuck did he do? He gave him the scroll
Yeah.
and a shotgun,
Yeah.
and he rode with him for no fucking reason.
Yeah, it's like, well,
That's-
my time's up. They're not paying me anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was
Go
just
win
in it
or
for a
not, I
paycheck.
guess.
Yeah, he was just in for a paycheck
Yeah.
for a few months because all he did was tended to graves, looked like Sam Elliott looks, dispatched his wisdom, and it's like, let's go right out. And it's like, yeah, there's gonna be a big epic showdown. And it's like, well, I got you here. Bye.
Yeah, he
It's like,
didn't
oh,
do anything
okay,
else,
cool.
and you know, he's just it's like I'm just hanging around in this completely non-atmospheric graveyard, and you don't really get a sense of loss or creepiness or
No.
nothing. And
No.
sometimes when I talk real low, my lines aren't mic'd quite right, and you don't know where I'm doing.
It's kind of this whole redneck movement that was going on where you had movies like Armageddon where everyone's like, oh my God, these grown men are crying because Bruce Willis is saying goodbye to his daughter and he's gonna die. All these
Aw,
actors are like causing these moments for rednecks to just shed a tear while they're holding a Pabst Blue Ribbon in their hand and a Rolling Rock in the other. And that's all this
And
was. It's like,
proud
Sam
to be
Elliott.
an American.
It's like, I gotta see this.
Uh,
It's like he's riding a horse. I mean, my fucking redneck friend Dominic was like
horse on
jerking
fire.
off to this whole thing. 'Cause like, oh, Sam Elliott's the best, man. Oh, look at that. He's on a
and they
riding
make sure you
horse
know
on
he's going to be in the
fire.
movie because they got that Marlboro Man prologue that you know that you got to go to
Exactly.
flavor country. This
And
makes me
to
want to
every
go
generation,
listen to Ween's album
a
12
Slayer is
Golden
born.
Country Greats.
Well, I mean, he just says like, this is as far as I go, and I'm like, what the fuck? You made it look like you were gonna like go
Yeah.
help him take on the bad guy, but no, he's just fucking riding him with him for no fucking reason other than to hold
No,
a
you're
shotgun.
supposed to be with it at that point because they played that fuck awful cover of the Outlaws Ghost Riders in the Sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even my ex was the same way. She's like, oh, that's so cool. I'm like, bitch, what the fuck was he doing? It's like he just acted like an Uber for Cage and then left.
I hope I never meet
Please,
your ex
you're
again.
old lady.
She was an old lady.
That's
That's
okay though,
my
because there's
own
lots of cool touches in this movie, you guys. Like all those speed changes and the black and white lightning and stuff. It's like it's 2002 or something.
Yeah. Which
And all that awesome CGI.
And the
I was
devil
gonna
has
say-
that really metal contract, or it like looks like he got it printed out at Kinko's.
Yeah. I was going to say that's the one thing they kept toting and Cage kept saying as well about the sequel, and they were right, is that the effects on the skull in that one looked a lot better. Like they did, but it was still shit.
But it's still stupid, because in that one it's like it's CGI fire around a skull that looks like it was on fire. This one's CGI fire around a skull that looks like it's not on fire.
And see, that's where we have to.
And they got that glowy in the eye sockets, which is really half-assed. Like, how come the flames aren't shooting out of his eye sockets in any of these versions? And just like sort of going back over his head. That would look way more boss.
It would have, yeah, but this is where we have to show our devotion to our fans, because we had to watch the sequel for another podcast that we talked with, and we're gonna have to watch this again when we go back to that movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Everything I learned from movies. Yeah, shout out to them.
We were on Everything I Learned from Movies. They had beers and we had
awesome.
tears because we just watched Ghost Rider 2.
And repressed memories.
And repressed, yeah. No, exactly. I'd seen both of these movies years and years ago, like around the time that they hit video. And
it's kind of like
they
Witness.
faded with time, and I remember hating them both for non-specific reasons. And it's like, oh yeah, and the second one was even worse. And I'm like, and the second one I think still probably is even worse. But man, does it hurt watching the first one again?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like the second one, at least, like, they're self-aware, and it's like, we know what we're fucking
the only reason any of that is
her.
in the second one is because of how badly received the first one is.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. They did not choose that, okay? That's reactive. It's an apology sequel.
Well, here's another thing. If they do remake this, will they recast Cage or get someone else?
Oh, probably somebody else. They'd probably go with the newest Ghost Rider. Actually, I've been really
55.
into yes, happy birthday, January 7th.
Happy birthday, Cage.
But they I've been really digging the latest well, I guess it's not the latest, I'm a liar. It's a little old now, but the Cosmic Ghost Rider, it's pretty fucking amazing. Like, if you like comics,
a
I would
Cyber Ghost Rider at
recommend
some
it.
point. Like, didn't they try a few different things because they didn't know what the hell to do with it?
Yeah.
It's a story
Well,
about a
this
guy
one,
whose head's
he,
on
like-
fire.
Died, but
He gets the cosmic powers from Galactus. So
And
he's
Galactus
a herald
eats
for Galactus.
planets.
yeah.
Nom, nom, nom,
Well,
nom,
and
nom,
Marvel
nom, nom,
seems to really like using all of their ultimate versions of each character now, so they probably would redo that. But they
That's
also
fucking
want someone
amazing.
younger as well, because then they can lock them into a huge ass contract.
I mean, we might be the wrong people to be reviewing this, in the sense that none of us are super comic book people.
Yeah.
I feel, like
We're
Bitch, I was just saying.
Like,
Like,
well,
I read the comic.
I just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Anyway,
like, some
stop listening to these bitches.
some-
Go check out Cosmic Ghost
some-
Rider.
I read 3 manga. That means I'm into manga.
I read.
No, you're into mega porn.
That's
Hentai.
Who isn't? Come on now.
Nerd.
There's a difference.
Yes.
I'm the
Adrian.
crusty comic fan. I like me my Flash Gordon and my Little Nemo, and I like them in the original iterations. And fuck y'all.
Yeah. Print ain't
Everybody
dead,
can-
y'all.
God damn it.
Can we face this fucker off? Do we have anything else left?
Wait, no, there's so much to talk about, like the 2 prologues and
Oh, God.
And how Rebel Wilson shows up
and
before she's
uh,
Rebel Wilson.
the worst color correction in movie history.
Oh,
They turn Cage orange for most of the movie.
yes, they did.
And so there's a part where he's supposed to be looking at his hands and he's supposed to like notice he's turning into fire or some shit. But really, it just looks like his hands are coated in flaming hot Cheeto dust, but he kind of looked like that the most of the movie anyway. So it's like, what's going on here? And they keep like amping up the blue in his eyes to where it's this electric blue that nobody's eyes ever were.
Yeah.
Oh, and let's not forget the super dialogue for when he's fighting Devil Guy in Ghost Rider form. And it's like, back to hell. You're going
Back
down.
to reality.
Innocent.
You're pissing me off. Oh, punish.
Being punished.
Naughty. Again, not as good as Silent Night, Deadly Night 2.
No.
I think that should just be the benchmark for every movie we go over. Was it as good
with us,
as
it's not Robin
Silent
Hood,
Night,
Prince of
Deadly Night
Thieves.
2?
It's Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. Okay.
Shout out to our friends at Better Than Robin Hood.
When are we wisdoming or facing off, or what are we doing, or how's this work? I just got here. I don't know.
There's just like you said, there's just so much shit.
Yeah, it's like if the movie made any kind of sense.
Check out Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
No.
No.
It has Robbie Ray as Ghost Rider.
No.
Out, doggy, out.
Okay.
Well, what else do we have here before we do face off? Because goddamn.
Oh, I couldn't help but laugh out loud at his dad's death scene.
Yeah, I feel healthy as a horse. Oh no,
Yeah, that was pretty fucking fun. Well, and the part where he's like flirting with Eva Mendes when he's doing those motorcycle tricks and they're both hanging out on a green screen. So, hey, I'm riding beside you in your car. What's that? There's kind of an echo in here. Hold on.
And that's what Carlo and I like to call the things are so great when they're good scene, with like his dad being like, I woke up without cancer.
Life is beautiful. Son, I'm feeling so
life.
demonstrative and wonderful. I would like to jump over a helicopter someday. I would like you to recall that in future when you were a man.
Nothing can possibly touch me.
And it's my birthday.
I am
and I'm
immortal.
getting married. I just want $1 million.
I really liked how there was just one guy that's kind of like bent over his dying body, and the rest of the guys are just like, oh god, we gotta put out this fire, gotta put out this mess. God damn it.
Yeah, no,
that was the most amazing fall from a bike I've ever seen. It's like, oh no, I tipped over slightly, I'm dead.
You can make a whole montage, a whole yakety sex montage of the bike falls in this movie too. Where the part where he's riding along and he gets like the Satan flash for no reason. The bike flips the wrong way and he gets thrown off it. It's like, you're no good, semi-dead, inconvenient.
And that's when Santa
in the
Claus
sequel, I'll
comes
be
in
an
and
Irish
saves
guy.
his dad.
That's right.
What's that, Tony?
That's
Santa
when
Claus
Santa
comes in and
saves his dad from falling, and the devil's like, "Oh, Santa!"
Oh man, Santa Claus conquers the Martians.
Oh.
Droppo, you're the laziest man on Mars. Why are you always sleeping?
Oh, I like the cocaine. It's super
One thing I
spice
liked
Coke.
one thing I liked about this was that Eva Mendes like realized that in the comics her character was like, you know, blonde, blue eyes,
Yeah.
and you know, obviously white as fuck. And she is not.
Oh,
So
white people.
she just decided to embrace the fact that her character was very voluptuous in the comic book. So she just decided to stop watching what she was eating. So her boobs would fill out a little bit more.
I see. She had a strategy there.
I mean,
yeah.
she fucking knows what she's doing.
Whatever.
She's what you call an expert.
She has a pretty
then,
thankless role, but I guess she gave it all she could.
Yeah.
And Sam Elliott said, quote, "It's pretty incredible actually working with Nick. I was a fan for long before I had this opportunity. I mean, back from Fast Times at Ridgemont High early on." And I can only tell you after my 2 weeks down here, it was an incredible experience working with him. And I was thinking, like, you've never watched one of his movies, have you?
No,
'Cause you would've
you
known.
guys. He was the only person who watched The Best of Times when it was originally televised. He was the one.
Some people don't know,
No.
but I was on the Titanic when it sank.
He's the one. He's been keeping him alive this whole time.
Yeah.
They were like, well, nobody
He could
watched
be
the
the
best
one,
of
he could be
times.
the
None of
one.
you kids have a future in anything. Then this phone call comes in. They're like, I need you to put that cage boy in something. Who is this? You know who this is. You put that cage boy in your movie, or you know what'll happen. And all of a sudden, he had a career.
Yeah.
I like how everybody
Look out,
who
here
is
comes Nick.
like on the numerous commentaries and the behind the scenes interviews, like everybody talking about Sam Elliott described him as quote unquote Americana.
Yeah.
like it's true, but like were they telling everybody to mention that he's Americana personified?
He was in that Whoopi
Well,
Goldberg movie.
Yeah, and he did advertise steaks on TV for the longest time.
I totally believe he eats some steak too. Like, true
Yeah.
fact.
That's why we send him a steak a month.
That's right.
Steak a month,
To
steak a
keep
month,
him
steak a
and the
month.
elder gods at bay.
Exactly.
It's an offering.
You don't want to cross me, boy.
I do have a prepared face off if we're at that.
Oh,
point.
please.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so my face off is actually based on the quintessential American motorcycle movie. Okay,
Mhm.
so bear with me here. Okay, so as the devil, I have Clarence Williams III.
Jesus.
Oh.
As the son of the devil, I have Morris Day. As Roxanne, I have Apollonia Quintero. And quite naturally, as Johnny Blaze, I have Prince. I will die for you.
You're not setting my back on fire.
That ain't Lake Minnetonka.
I've got to put out the fire.
That's right.
By go swimming
See,
in
that
the
would
lake.
be even better. It's like as soon as he's dead,
The
he's
water.
like, how's the family?
And of course, I would have the Revolution and the Time as themselves.
Yes.
There you go.
I'd watch the shit out of that.
Let's get nuts.
Donnie.
So I had two castings for this, and the best one I enjoyed was as Johnny Blaze, we got Johnny Depp. As Mephisto, we have Paul Williams. And Roxanne,
Yes.
we have Divine. And the caretaker is Joe Bob Briggs. Now, that one I
Yes.
enjoyed a lot more just because Paul Williams really plays an amazing devil. But
Yeah, it does.
the better version that if you want to make money would have been better is Mephisto would be Nick Cage, Johnny Blaze would be Nick Cage, Roxanne Nick Cage, and the caretaker Nick Cage.
Oh, that's the young Goodman Brown version.
Yes.
It's called Meet the Blazes.
Yes, exactly. Ride or die.
Riders on the storm.
For mine, as the caretaker, I have Danny DeVito. As Mephistopheles, I have the Goots, naturally, because I think he would make a great devil.
Not Billy Crystal.
This isn't a Woody Allen movie.
It's been a while.
Why
Maybe
do I
Billy
smell
Crystal.
sulfur?
As Roxanne, I've got Christina Applegate because
Ooh,
Christina
ooh,
Applegate.
ooh, respect.
And as Johnny, originally I had Tommy Wiseau, my favorite Johnny, but I changed it last minute to the obvious choice, Alf.
That does work.
The alien life form himself.
I mean, why not? This movie was like alien beings trying to imitate humans.
Yeah, I'm here to judge your cat.
And his like head was like on fire, like that much fire. And this scene's only there to be
Then
in
he
the
ate
trailer.
my cat. I mean, it had a lot of great actors. It's another one of those Cage movies that has a good cast, great cast, I'd even say, but like just you know.
Yeah, and then but it's totally obvious and stupid, and they got like AC/DC and Crazy Train on the soundtrack, and and
the Carpenters.
And if the whole soundtrack had been the Carpenters, that would have been different, you know. We've only just begun.
Speaking of soundtracks, next week, the soundtrack is finally coming out for the first time ever of the movie Free from Alex Winters.
Oh shit!
This is gonna be amazing balls insane.
That is pretty insane.
And we also have, I think, next week to look forward to the Nick Cage's newest coming out too.
Has anybody ever put out a soundtrack for Chester N. Turner's Black Devil Doll from Hell?
I really would love
That's
it.
A good question.
I love
I want to say yes. So
I can't quote anything from that movie without killing our podcast.
So let's move on.
That's right, you can.
I mean, I'm not proud of the things I said in the fucking Twin Towers episode, but that movie, shit.
Oh yeah, there's the part where a Ghost Rider like drives down the streets of Melbourne there, like ripping up the pavement, goes up the side of the building, rips holes in it. Yeah, no, so Ghost Rider did 9/11, everybody.
Yeah, okay, actually, I can quote that movie. He's like, he may be twice as small, but I'll beat him twice as hard.
God damn it,
no. We're not pussyfooting around with our bad movies here, folks. We're watching the fuck out of these.
We've been in the shit.
You got that 1,000-yard B movie stare.
We were there at Grenada.
I saw it all go down at Grenada.
We were there when the shit hit the fan. Can we find an excuse to cover Ginger Dead Man?
I mean, why not? Actually, let's see if we can get Sam Elliott on this show, since he's such a huge fan of Nick Cage. We'll test his knowledge. Because we are the people.
It'd be really funny if we got him on and it was kind of like, and if it turned out to be like fucking in Color Me Kubrick, it's like, oh yeah, no, and I directed Julia Roberts.
So, were you guys able to find any sort of wisdom in this? Cagey wisdom?
Oh yeah,
take the money and run.
Don't worry about the devil, because if he gives you power, you could just like command it really easy by talking to it and just sort of turn it against him. You know, and it happens to him all the time. And the devil should really know better by now, but he just keeps doing it.
I know. I mean, Petey Wheatstraw took his cane. And suddenly, he's like beating the shit out of the devil. Like, eventually, the devil will learn. I need to stop giving people powers.
Oh my god. Okay. My wisdom was, if you're going to sell your soul, you should be very specific about what you want for it.
Yeah. Our cousin sold his soul for a half a Coke and a pack of smokes.
Pack of smokes, yeah.
That was in the young days of the internet when you could sell your soul to apps online.
And send venereal disease.
Fuck you for that.
Oh yeah, just today I got two calls from Kentucky about my social security number.
I thought you were gonna say about your venereal
about my
disease.
venereal disease. Yeah, no, it's probably all tied up with the venereal disease. Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. We've noticed that we're computer experts, and we have noticed that you have the herpes.
Your computer has herpes
infested with space herpes.
Now, if you want to solve that, what you want
worms.
to do is you get one of them gift cards, you see. No, hear me out. No, you send it here to this address. Right. And that's for $1,000. Okay? Yep, that'll take right care of the herpes.
And I will make an amendment. Linda is a huge comic nerd. We have had to see her at the comic convention shuffling a fucking tub of fucking comic books for signing.
That's a backpack.
And a backpack and tubs.
It's lies that don't buy it. It's all for show.
God damn it.
Like, here she comes.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, and you had that ex who was all into that Frank Miller.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy, though.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I couldn't really get into Frank Miller myself.
Maybe it's just Frank Miller's a fucking psychopath.
Yeah, with too much.
One side, I wrote RoboCop 3. Nobody tells me what to do. I'm Frank Miller here, director of the Spirit. Frank Miller.
Well, I think that was part of the reason that that Cage wasn't in Hellblazer, because it really, really pissed off Alan Moore. But I mean, it's not like I love Keanu, but it's not like Keanu did any better than
when he was dog.
What
boy
are you
and
talking about?
Freak.
They did fine. It's a fine version of it. Like
No, it's a good story,
I don't give a
as
fuck
long
that
as
it
you
ain't
don't
faithful.
like.
Your movie just has to be a good movie. If being faithful to the source material will compromise it being a good movie, you need to let that go.
Yeah.
Blah.
No.
Anyway,
I don't know thing one about the source material on Ghost Rider except for what little I've read on Wiki. And
It's
all
like
the
this,
porn.
but all over.
I just remember first hearing about this when they were in early development with Cage being considered from this. I'm like, why even cast a major Hollywood star if it's a character whose head's on fire?
Yeah.
But that's not what happened.
Well, because that was also the thing that Marvel has still continued, where every superhero who has a mask, you have to have them wearing the mask maybe 15% of the film.
What I'm fine with sometimes as long as what's happening when they're not in super mode is interesting. And this one, it was like the super mode stuff was really boring and generic, and the scenes in between were really boring and generic.
Well, that's the problem I have with comic book movies in general. It's like, what the fuck is the point of secret identities when you're taking your goddamn mask off in front of everyone every chance you get?
Yeah, and this one is cat's out of the bag pretty early on when he transforms in jail. And
the freaking cops arrested him for murder.
Yeah.
I have to say, though, that I wish we could go back in time and watch The Phantom instead.
Slam Evil!
Slam Evil. Punch Evil.
Who
right
was
in the
that?
nose.
Somebody I already killed. Oh man!
Surprise butt sex.
I'm
gonna give you my secret
Remar.
identity so I can fuck you later. There's no getting out of this.
Well, here's the other problem though: is why we don't get any cool secret identity shit in this one is because it takes like 40 minutes for him to even be Ghost Rider.
True.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's like,
and they're too busy trying to be funny.
It's like you get prologue, you get flashback prologue, then you get like bunch of padding. Then you get Ghost Rider, and by then it's like, oh, well, out of time, final conflict, I guess.
Hey,
okay, gun to your
sun's
head.
Getting kind of low.
You need to get this contract back. Yeah, this contract, and it's
big guy.
Big guy, sun's getting pretty low. Time to come on in.
All right.
This movie ain't gonna hurt no one no more.
Question for the both of you. Guns to your head, would you prefer watching this or Green Lantern?
Oh, I thought you were going to do Marry, Fuck, Kill.
I never actually saw all of Green Lantern, so I don't know how painful that is. I've seen parts of it on the TV. It looked really bad.
I never saw Green Lantern.
Although I know that even though he's done some really bad movies, that director on the whole was better than Mark Steven Johnson.
True.
Because that was from the guy...
Mark Steven Johnson.
Because Green Lantern was from the same guy who directed fucking Casino Royale.
Your mom's porn.
Yeah, the guy who's I think he's also an Aussie, and he originated doing porn.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that's why I was right.
Yeah. Martin Campbell. I'm sorry, he's not an Aussie. He's a Kiwi. He's from New Zealand. Yeah. No, that was Martin Campbell who did Vertical Limit. Although he did Criminal Law with Gary Oldman and Kevin Bacon, which was awesome. And he did No Escape with Ray Liotta, which is pretty bitchin'.
I do love me some Gary Oldman. I know I shouldn't, but I can't help it.
And in the 70s, he did The Sex Thief in Eskimo Now.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's Martin Campbell, everybody.
I guess this is the time where I release our listeners and say, please help us out by listening, following, rating, and reviewing and downloading Cage's Kiss on Apple Podcasts especially, and on Podchaser. And you can check out our stuff on YouTube. There you can see Adrian's awesome cage arts.
Ooh.
Also, check out our Patreon at www.patreon.com/cageskiss. For just a couple bucks a month, you can get some awesome goodies like stickers, buttons, and a Cage's Kiss ringtone.
And I too have a Patreon.
Yeah.
That's Patreon/Leo the Fox.
Man's gotta eat. Sorry, what is it?
Patreon/Leo the Fox.
Yeah,
And I'm
Leo.
THEFOX, all run together.
SATURDAY.
Night!
Night?
And I'm Leo the Fox on DeviantArt also as well. I'm putting up new artworks on both those things, and you should also go to my YouTube before I put things on there also.
Hell yeah.
Stop!
Don Wall, do you got any plugs?
I am Unreal Goals on Twitter, Twitch, and Mixer. I also am the boy who blew on Pornhub officially. And that's all I've got going on in my life. I am a sad man.
Oh, Don Waldo.
Yay!
Yeah!
Remember, you can find Cage's Kiss on Facebook and on Twitter at Cage's Kiss. You can visit our website at cageskiss.com, and you can write to us at cageskiss@gmail.com. Check out my other show, Bedknobs and Broomflicks. We just covered Argento's Inferno.
Inferno!
Not to be confused with the shitty one with Tom Hanks.
The book.
Yeah, no, and
Also,
yeah, stick with Argento. Fuck Dan Brown. Fuck him.
yes. I'd like to thank That's a Bingo, Drunk Dish, and Dis172 for giving us awesome 5-star reviews on Apple.
And that's a bloke.
Thank you so much. It really, really helps. I'd also like to give some love to the Drunk Dish podcast, Florida Men on Florida Man. And
Nice.
it is fucking amazing, you guys.
Oh,
It is so
Florida
good. Honey, you should watch this podcast and Bring on the Weird podcast. All amazing podcasts. You should definitely check them out after you check out all of our library. Our library.
Yeah. Us first, and then you can get to those others. You know.
Yeah.
Although I'm hoping that weird thing lives up to its name.
Oh, it is good. It's good. So we will be seeing you next week with a twofer. We got a twofer for you. We have Cage's work in Grindhouse
All 6 seconds of it.
as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
all 6 seconds.
As well as Next.
Well, what's next?
His hair and Next. Where we'll be joined by the lovely Kristen from Coffin Cast. Woohoo!
Kristen, feel our pain.
Kristen!
But what's next?
Lee Tamahori, unfortunately. I'm Peter
until
Falk.
then-
I don't know where I am. Is that Cage? What's going on?
And until then, we killed Johnny Blaze's dad.
We set a kid on fire.
Burn, baby, burn.
Don't you remember you told me you love me, baby?
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Cage, 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 Peach. I could eat a peach for hours. Please. Kiss me.
Do you ever find yourself sitting on the couch late at night wondering, what should I watch?
Aimlessly flipping through streaming services, pondering as you let your cursor settle over a title, but you just can't bring yourself to commit and push play?
Well, guess what? We do that, and we made a podcast about it.
Because everybody makes podcasts, but we decided to make ours about movies.
I'm Kay,
I'm E.
and together we start a journey through cinema where we watch a movie, sit down, discuss it,
Debate it, test each other's knowledge of it, and then give our final seal of approval or disapproval.
yeah.
So join us as we try to search the infinite web, attempting to answer the age-old question, what should we watch?
So check us out wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and drop us a comment. Let us know what you think, and we'll have some interactive portions where you can join the fun.
So, pop some popcorn, pop some wine, and join us, won't you? Tune in to What Should We Watch with K&E.
Coming at you live, brother.
It's not live.
Coming at you.
Pre-recorded and edited.
Pre-recorded, edited, and delivered, brother.
Bye.
Elijah, are you ready to bring on the weird?
Yes, Will, I am. Are you ready to bring on the weird?
Did you just make a Will I Am joke?
Yeah, I did.
Nice. I'll allow it. Anyway, we're just a couple of harmless guys digging into weird things we don't know much about.
We're just trying to figure out what the hell is happening in the world outside our homes.
Do we get things wrong?
Without a doubt.
Are we learning from those mistakes?
Not anytime soon.
Are you entertained by the crap we're talking about?
Of course, that's why I always listen to the show.
You listen? Alright, what do you like to listen to about the show?
I like aliens, conspiracies, cryptids, NWO, shadow government, you name it.
But, hold on. Do the aliens come from inside the Earth instead of interstellar travel? What made the conspiracy start? Why did that cryptid evolve to do the things it does? Who runs this NWO?
Listen in as we dive into all manners of subjects as we bring on the weird.
You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Reddit. You can listen to clips of our episodes on our YouTube channel.
Listen, rate, and review us on Apple Podcasts and Podchaser.com. You can also listen to us on Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever else you listen to your favorite podcasts.